Now, new research reveals that less than half of children under the age of 15 help with household tasks. They don't clean, they don't cook. Earlier in the week, haven't they seen Cinderella? Don't they know they're meant to be cleaning out the grate? What's the matter with them? Earlier in the week, we heard that a quarter of teenagers cannot even boil an egg. Previous studies have shown that giving children responsibilities at home can boost their mental health, foster engagement and produce more balanced adults. So should we pay children to do household chores? I'm just adding this in. Or should they pay us? Because it's so good for their mental health. They should pay us when we allow them to do the vacuuming. Or should children just help out around the house because we've raised them so beautifully that they want to help? Cosmo.
I would like to challenge the idea of should we pay children? What you're really saying is, should we bribe our children to do what they should do anyway?
Should we?
No.
Why not?
No, because they should take responsibility. They should learn at an early age. Everybody has to contribute to the household, to the running of everything. And it builds character if you do that.
Right. If I say to you, when you were a child, what were the sorts of things routinely expected that you would do by your mum?
Tidy my room, iron my school uniform, hoover. On Sundays.
Yes, on Sundays. There's always a Sunday hoovering.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Well, I would get pocket money for it.
Oh, you did get pocket money for it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So my daughter has a list of household chores that she does regularly, and she gets pocket money for it. And she can earn more pocket money by doing more chores in the house. If perhaps she wants to buy something, or she's going on holiday or something, she needs a bit more extra cash.
Mind us how old she is?
She's 13.
Right.
So she can up the chores if she wants to. And there's certain things that she's responsible for in the house. And then once a week she will, she's the chef and I'm the sous chef, and she leads on cooking dinner. But she does that and she gets pocket money for it.
What do you make of these 15-year-olds, Linda, who can't boil an egg?
I think it's quite shocking that they can't boil an egg. I mean, I think children should be encouraged to do these chores. I mean, I never even thought of it as a chore, helping cooking, and then I learned from helping out. Sometimes things would go wrong, but then you'd learn how to make the omelette, boil the egg, or cook the stew, or whatever it is. You know, you've got to learn from an early age, and that's what we were always encouraged to do. Sweep the floor.
Did anyone pay you, though? Did you get money?
Not for those chores, but certainly for some chores, like washing a car on a weekend, we would get a bit of cash.
I should have come and lived with you lot. My dad was the exact opposite. He described it, I'm not kidding, as the family war effort.
Oh, wow.
So it was, your father worked so hard, you're selling underwear in the warehouse, blah, blah, to put a roof over your head, young lady, and make sure you have delicious hot food on the table. Your mother cooks it, young lady. Yeah. And so your job is, all sorts of jobs which you have to keep doing, including going and packing stuff in the warehouse the first day of your school holidays and many other days after. It felt like years and centuries packing that damn stuff.
Oh, wow.
But actually, was he wrong or was he right? The idea was you don't get paid to participate in keeping your whole family afloat, because that's what we do for you, and you're part of this.
Everybody does their bit.
Yeah, everybody should do their bit, and certainly like sweeping up after you've all had dinner, putting your chair in, what we would call siding the table, clearing the table, laying the table, all those tasks make for a happy household. And again, it comes down to communication, chat around the table. We're not doing this as a mindless pursuit. It's something that builds kind of responsibility as a young child, as a young adult, and I think children should be encouraged. I think there's even like Montessori schools, they teach them these little chores. You tuck your chair in when you finish class. You probably go round with a broom at the end of the day to make sure the classroom's tidy. All this is very relevant to creating a very fully rounded human being at the end of the day.
I can't pretend I enjoyed it when I was a child. I'm not saying I just walked around feeling empowered and delighted.
Never.
But for example, we used to have, just like everybody else, a roast lunch. We call it roast lunch. Some people would roast dinner on a Sunday. And then we, the children, washed up and cleared up afterwards because my mum had cooked it. And, she then relaxed and we washed up. I wouldn't say I liked doing it. But, once you can properly wash and scour a roasting pan afterwards, you can do it for the rest of your life. And you will do it.
It prepares you for life, because you can't enjoy everything. Life isn't all about things that are going to make you laugh and fun. Sometimes you have to get your hands on the dishes.
But it's also good to teach our kids about earning money and about, how they earn money, how they can budget for things. I think it's also a good lesson, but also it's really great for them to help out around the house. I 100% agree.
Cosmo, just tell us what it was like in your household when you were growing up.
Well, I grew up in a kind of ab-fab family, crazy hippies, and they never did chores. We didn't do chores, they didn't do chores, and I would have to tell my dad, go clean up your room. Mom, look at this filthy sitting room. For heaven's sake, do I have to do everything myself? Well, it was this lone kid bringing up two crazy parents. It was quite difficult.
And in retrospect, this was a good thing or a bad thing or what?
Well, I got a lot of material out of it. At the time, it was a nightmare.
Was it really a nightmare?
We had the filthiest house in the street. Nobody ever did chores. My mum said, if you stop dusting after a while, no one will notice. I mean, they didn't. My father saw me use the vacuum cleaner once. He said, what are you doing? Are you a neurotic?
Let's go to Alison in Leicestershire. Alison, you decided to get out the cash in your house.
Yes, definitely. It was to teach the children how to manage money and also to help with the chores and stuff. I made a rota and I got 3 children. I did a 3-week rota and everything had a different cost. So they didn't have the same job every week. But it meant that they got used to running a house. They weren't really hard chores and it really worked. And then when I left my husband's, and it broke up, he couldn't get them to do anything.
What were the sorts of things you thought were suitable for them to do, for example, Alison?
Empty the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, clean the table, put the washing out, make sure the bedrooms are tidy. Occasionally, I'd get them to clean the bathroom, but not always. But only if we got visitors coming.
And one more question. Were their friends' parents making them do the same sorts of things, or did they stand out because only they were doing the chores and nobody else was?
I don't know. I don't think it was widely shared.
Oh, really? They kept it quiet. It wasn't good for their street cred to say that they were being paid to do the housework. Lovely to hear from you, Alison. Thanks so much. Let's go to Lauren in London. What do you think, Lauren, about chores and children?
Good morning to you all.
Hi.
Well, first of all, we grew up with a single-parent household with my mother, and I had an older sister, and much like your previous caller, we had a rota. So one week we would do kitchen duty, the second week it would be house duty. Kitchen duty was laying the breakfast table, putting everything away, doing the washing up, helping Mum cook the dinner. The house duty was doing the cleaning, the hoovering. We didn't particularly enjoy it, but it was like, we knew we had to all pull together. Mum was out working all the time. She'd come home exhausted. And the least we could do is kind of like have a nice environment. Also, my older sister used to pay me £1 each time she was on house duty to do the cleaning. So I did quite well financially out of it.
Do you still get mileage out of that to this day that she used to pay you? I used to pay my sister to push me up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
I really
yeah,
did.
I think
10p if you just push me up the hill.
Oh, you're back, not on wheels?
No, just push me up the hill. I used to do that all the time. I'd never told anyone that before. I don't know why I suddenly told you that, Lauren. Okay, I'd like to take that back, but I can't. There it is, just hanging out there. Push me up the hill. Actually, I'd do that now if I could find anyone to pay to do that. Lauren, so looking back on it, was it the making of you? Because obviously you had to take quite responsibility, didn't you?
Yeah, it was, because if we didn't do what we were supposed to do, Mum would say, look, I've been out at work all day. I don't want to have to come home and do it. So it kind of gave us that sense of responsibility and also helping each other out. Yeah. If one of us was a bit tired, the other person could take over. And, lots of people do grow up with a single parent. And I think, when you're a teenager, you're old enough to take responsibility. And, you are in a household, you share with other people. So clean up after yourself.
And so has it stood you in good stead as an adult? And have you passed that on? I don't know if you have children, whether you've passed it on to them.
Well, no, luckily I don't have children. But now myself, I always make sure that I put things away and tidy up after myself. I think it's a good sort of, you need to know these things, how to look after yourself when you're an adult, when you're living away from home, or university or whatever. You need these skills. They're essential life skills, really.
I think she's right?
Yeah, she absolutely
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's go to Jed in West Sussex. Jed, what do you think? Should it be a question of paying your children to do chores?
Good morning, first of all, to everyone. It's my first time talking on air.
So welcome. Hope you enjoy it. It's good fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is, indeed. I'm a bit nervous, but all I'd say is, for me personally, I don't think we should be paying children to do these chores. I personally think it's a discipline that they need to learn, like getting up in the morning. They need to know how to do their bed first thing, and not to leave it there like that. And little things that they learn at home, that is something they will keep with them for the rest of their lives. I mean, giving an incentive, paying them every now and again is fine, but making it as if you're an employer, like not really as an employer, but giving them that expectation that they need to be paid. Yes, it's all good about giving them the knowledge how to manage money and everything, but it's also for them to know, to appreciate what they have, and to know how hard it is to get things done, because they won't know. They'll have a family in the future, and they need to know what comes with, getting into a relationship and having a family, how to bring up their own children, what comes with it, the whole package. They need to learn all that.
All right, now I need to ask you this. You've just been on television for the first time in your life. How was it for you?
Oh my God, I am not looking at the television right now because I'm being told that.
You did a beautiful job. You can call me whenever you like. Thank you so much. Let's talk to Franco in Northamptonshire. Hi, Franco.
Hello, Vanessa.
Hi.
Pay kids to do chores? I don't think so. Vanessa, is that on top of their pocket money?
I don't know whether it's on top. I suppose it depends what they do. It depends what the setup is in your house.
No, Vanessa. If the government gets wind of it, they'll start taxing the kids.
That's true. That is true. Did you get paid to do chores when you were little?
Listen, when I was 8 years old, we used to have trips to London, the museum, whatever. You know what I used to do? I used to go round knocking on neighbours' doors and doing a bit of weeding and get my 8 shillings and sixpence. Yeah, so I could go on a trip. So I was earning money, not from my parents, but away from my parents.
How much did you charge in those days for weeding someone's garden, Franco?
A shilling, 2 bob, whatever I could get, whatever they offered me, in actual fact.
Gosh. And then you take the money and you go off on a trip. Were you allowed to go by yourself?
Well, I went with the school.
Oh, you went with the school, so you used the money to go on a school trip. Wow.
Exactly. No, don't pay kids for doing chores, love. That ain't on.
All right. Nice talking to you, Franco. Pleasure. Let's go to Mandy in Surrey. What do you think, Mandy?
Well, I think children should do it out of love and respect for their parents. They come back, work all day, and they're tired. And, my grandchildren will make a cup of tea for their mum and take them up breakfast in bed on Sunday morning because she works 6 days a week. And I just think when I was little, 7 days a week, I washed up, my brother dried up, and my little sister put away. From the age of 7 or 8, we did it for years.
Yeah.
Right up till we left home.
And do you feel it stood you in good stead, Mandy? Teamwork and all of that?
Yes. So I think making your bed when you become 7 or 8, toddlers can't make their own bed. But, you can make your own bed, you can tidy your room, you can pick clothes up and put it in a laundry basket, surely.
I couldn't agree with you more. I didn't like doing it when I was a kid, but I'm really glad I learned how to do it. And I do. And I think it is a sense of accomplishment, Mandy, don't you? That you can do these things. Yes. You've got a kind of an independence. You're not a baby, you're a person. It's all good.